But anyways, we can talk hours and hours about stuff we want, which is not the topic of today. The topic of
That's
today
true.
is to rant about this update. Welcome to the official, unofficial Sea of Thieves podcast, a podcast dedicated to Sea of Thieves and other rare games, but mainly Sea of Thieves. Today, we are discussing the latest update, Fate of the Damned. This update released on the 28th of October and introduced some new voyages and a heavy amount of quality of life improvements. But not everyone seems to be happy with this update. Either way, this is a perfect update to discuss, and to have a discussion, you need at least one other person, and we do.
Hi, Old Buccaneer, back again, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's always good to have you. But it's also a bit sad because this might be your last time with us, right?
Yes, that is true. I think I'm going to be taking a little hiatus from Sea of Thieves for a while. It's we're getting a little long in the tooth, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
That's the right term. Yeah. 2.5, almost 3 years of playing, and lately I've just found that a lot of the updates have been pretty lackluster, and the interaction with players on the seas has been mostly with just noobs, not a lot of seasoned players. So
yeah,
I'm having some difficulty getting that excitement level up to continue playing. So
yeah,
my playtime has been going down pretty substantially over the last few months. So I think I'm just going to take a little break, and maybe later on, if things get more interesting, come back.
yeah. Well, it does make sense. Like, I would be lying if I said I didn't understand it because I do. I've also been playing a little bit less Sea of Thieves and more focusing on other games. But yeah, glad to hear your that honest answer. Is your channel going to change? Are you focusing on something else then, or just hiatus of YouTube as well?
Channel's probably not going to change. I built that channel out specifically for Sea of Thieves. So it'll remain as it is, and then if I do come back and make more videos or new updates come out, I'll continue perhaps to make stuff, but I wouldn't expect any more updates for a while. I mean, it's been 3 months since my last update, I think, so it's already pretty slow. Yeah, but I still watch the channel. I respond to comments and answer questions for people. I won't be making any content till some actual content comes out.
Yep, I get it. Well, and interacting with the subscribers is the most fun thing about YouTube, I think. But you did play this update, right?
I did, yes.
Nice. So what's your overall feel of this update?
Ooh, I feel like this update was pretty disappointing. Yeah, I was not happy with this update at all. I felt like it was a daily challenge that was extended to 43 days or whatever it was. I completed everything in less than 3 hours, and I have, I guess next week, they'll have a new update next week to do the exact same thing on different islands, and that's going to last till the end of October, or December. So, I feel like they phoned this one in. I don't feel like this is an update at all.
It's weird, and I will probably say this in the conclusion as well, because some additions are really nice. They did a lot of quality of life stuff that I totally agree with. But when you look at the main event that's being added, it's a bit of a rehash, and it feels like that, and it just feels disappointing. Something I have said in my review that it's probably really great for new players. But older players, we feel a little bit different about this update. So let's get into the how and why we feel this way. And let's start with the voyages. So this update introduces new voyages. Each week you can buy a new one from Larina. They're basically map-to-map voyages. In it you will get 2 colored Flames of Fate. You will fight some Shadows of Fate. And at the end you fight a very weak version of Grey Marrow, which is, a little bit of a rehash battle. But one of my subscribers did mention Grey Marrow does have a cutlass this time, and he didn't have that before. So, some new content is being added in that fight, but apart from that, it's just restructured voyage from stuff we've already seen. The rewards you will get of the voyages are some Sea of the Damned skulls and a ritual skull. So how do you feel about these new voyages?
Well, I think individually they're okay. They're just very short. You know, the rewards for them are, I guess, appropriate for the amount of time they take to do. The fact that you get a ritual skull is pretty interesting because I think it should hopefully encourage people to do more Fort of the Damned, because I feel like that was a bit of a problem with the Fort of the Damned. As soon as Rare limited the amount of skulls that you could buy to 1 per month, Fort of the Damned virtually stopped on almost all servers. At least for me anyways. I mean, there would be the occasional one, but previous to that change, everybody was always doing Fort of the Damned, and it was a lot of fun because A, you could do the Fort of the Damned, or B, you could try and steal it from other people, and it resulted in a lot of fighting and servers and interaction with people. So hopefully this brings that back. I've done 2 of the missions so far. I redid the Grey Mare once twice because I'm trying to get through the killing of the shadow skeletons.
Oh yeah.
And both times that I was running it, so it was about, you know, maybe 3.5 hours of gameplay, there wasn't anybody doing Fort of the Damned. So far for me anyways, I haven't seen any increase in the Fort of the Damned.
Yeah. Luckily I've had a different experience. I've seen I haven't done it yet, or tried to steal it, but I've seen it up on the server multiple times now. So people are doing it a bit more often, which is nice. Which is a cool catalyst of this update, I should say. So I'm definitely looking forward to stealing some FOTDs for sure. But again, like you can't just update on the FOTD because that was always there. So that's what I meant in the beginning too. Like, it's great for new players who've never done the FOTD because they're still unaware of what they need to do, like collecting the flames or collecting a ritual skull. And this voyage, spells it out a little bit for them. And even if you already knew how to do it, you end up with a ritual skull and 2 out of the 6 flames you need. So just 4 more flames and you can do the FOTD. So nice incentive to do the fort, but the voyage itself, it's a small one, and that's the only thing too, right? The voyages are the main addition. Well, we have the rewards, but we'll discuss it a little bit later. So, do you think the rest of the voyages are going to be that much different, or it's going to be really similar? Or do you think they still have a surprise? Months? Yeah.
Or I guess weeks, not months.
Months.
Yeah, I think it'll be the same. I think it'll probably be the same thing. It's just going to be different colored lanterns you have to get.
Yep.
And I suspect that, I could be wrong, but I suspect that it's just going to be the summoning skeletons and Grey Marrow again.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Especially when you look at the goals in the event tab. Again, we'll discuss it a bit later. But when you look at the goals, you can already see the goals for the other weeks. And it's very similar of stuff we need to do. And there's some goals that are not fun, but we'll discuss it later. But it kind of gives a feeling that I'm going to rant about that. But it kind of gives a feeling that, all the voyages are quite similar, which is fine, I guess. But it's still, for us, all the players, like, right, we're just redoing it. For the people who are listening, there are 3 different voyages, and in the final week, the 4th week, all 3 voyages will become available at the same time. So, One thing I do want to discuss too about the voyages, the voyage this week or last week, depends on when you listen to this podcast. You need to go to Duke to get his grog barrel. And he's found at the Lagoon of Whispers, but skeletons still spawn at that island, which makes it really hard to talk to Duke or to Umbra, who's on the island. So, is that an oversight of the developers, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I kind of feel like it is. Or, originally I thought, well, maybe they're just doing this because there's snakes there as well.
Yes.
For this week. So you could get your lanterns that way, but you actually don't have to get the lanterns because you get them by doing the quest. So I don't understand the point of having the skeletons and the snakes and stuff there who are damaging you as you're trying to talk to the NPCs.
Yeah,
I mean, they're a minor inconvenience. I mean, you kill them pretty quickly, but it's like, hey, stop. I'm trying to read what's going on, and some skeletons whacking me in the back.
Yeah, that's true. Because as far as I can tell, there aren't any voyages that, well, I mean, like an X marked the spot voyage that leads you to Lagoon of Whispers. I think they removed those. But I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've done a regular Gold Horror mission.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to talk about the lore of these voyages?
Sure.
So, because we are fighting Grey Marrow again, which is the third time, and some people are a bit confused by that. And I can explain that, because Grey Marrow was originally a pirate of the flesh. He makes an appearance in the Athena's Fortune novel, which me and Uniball read. He was not a nice guy, he was a bit of a and we don't know how he became a Scully Lord, but what we do know is he's not a follower of Flameheart. He is just doing his own thing. And he dies and becomes a Skeleton Lord, and then he pops up in the Tall Tale. And at the end of the Tall Tale, you kill him. Spoilers, sorry. Just play the Tall Tales. Once he's dead, he re-emerged as a ghost in the FOTD. And that was actually Sister Jim and the Dark Relics who done that. They were actually trying to resurrect Flameheart, but to make sure it was all working properly, they tested it out on Grey Marrow. And there you killed him again, as a ghost now. And now some skeletons, well, if you kill a ghost, lore-wise, you go back to the Sea of the Damned. It's as simple as that. And now some Skellies are trying to resurrect him yet again to fight against Flameheart. And this is what the Sea of Thieves webpage told me. So they're trying to resurrect him again to fight against Flameheart, which is interesting. All right, some crew, some Bilgerat felt that something was going on at the seas this month, so they're tracking down those shadows of fate that are doing all their magic, but they haven't come back. So Larina tasks you to investigate. And one of my subscribers said that's a bit weird because pirate crews are basically immortal, like you die, but then you come back. So why didn't that crew come back? Why have they gone missing? Well, the explanation to that is also really simple, because Grey Marrow can bind the souls of those crew members to certain items, because that's just the power he has. And Pendragon has the power to undo that with his cutlass he has. So I hope that makes the story a bit clearer, and hopefully people are not as confused about fighting the ghosts again for the third time. It did make sense, right? My story?
Yeah, it makes sense. Cool. But wouldn't that assume that Grey Marrow found the Bildrak guys sniffing around and then killed them and bound their spirit?
Yes, that's what we can believe happened, yeah.
And then he goes back in the ground.
Yes.
And gets resurrected when we show up.
Yes. So the problem with the story is obviously we don't know where the items are or what the items... we don't know what the items are, so that's a bit weird. But I guess it does make sense a little bit. Yeah, that's it. That's the lore.
There we go.
Enjoy.
I just assume that the pirates are hanging out on the Ferry of the Damned. Especially that one guy who's like, I don't want to get snakes. I hate snakes.
That's true.
I'm taking a break. I'm going to hang out over here for a while.
I do really like that. There's notebooks you find all over. Plus also the interactions with the NPCs. Like Duke has some new dialogue, which is interesting. And we saw in the trailer too that Merrick also has adjusted dialogue. So that's one of the things I do really appreciate about this update, because it adds to the overall story together with this lore as well, because it connects Sister Jim, it connects the Dark Lyrics again, it has something about Grey Marrow, about Flameheart, it's all and the Bilgerat as a faction, of course, too. So it does build up the established lore and expands it, and it does make sense in a way. So I do really like the update regarding this aspect of it.
So you said that Merrick has new lines? Merrick, son of Derek? That Merrick?
No, Derek is the son of Merrick.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so Merrick has... Yeah, so you
got them mixed up.
You give him a boot You can see that in the trailer. You will give him a boot as part of the quest, which I think is just the equivalent of giving Duke his barrel, right? But instead of a barrel to Duke, because he's a drunkard, I don't know. Merrick likes his boots. He likes his seed treasure, I know. And then he's probably going to give you a map piece or something like that, or point you in the right direction.
Right. These are for the later updates, right? Okay.
Yeah. So I think Merrick. I don't know. It could be this week, or if it's not Merrick this week, it's probably the third week that you will do that voyage. Right. But again, if you look at the goals, it's going to be really similar. It's going to be really similar.
I heard there was also a bug. I don't know if it's been patched yet, but you could actually buy the voyages for the upcoming weeks early after you finish the current voyage.
Oh.
Yeah, but they don't count towards your progress.
Yeah, that does make sense because it's all locked still. Exactly. I didn't know that. I should look up spoilers then. Which I'm not going to do. But that is interesting. I think they did patch it though, because this weekend I logged in and there was like a patch of like 2 gigs or something like that. So I do think they patched it. Yeah, it's something like you want to patch immediately as well.
Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to say. That it wasn't fixed in the patch that I'm surprised still has yet to be fixed. When you're fighting Grey Marrow, he has a really terrible bug. Have you seen it? Where as soon as he pulls out his weapon, he hip shots you.
Oh, should pay more attention then.
So when he switches, if you get him into this, the kind of the distance when you're chasing skeletons around and stuff, where he's switching back between his blunder and his pistol, as soon as he equips that pistol, even before he takes it out and aims it, he will hip fire and hit you, which makes it incredibly difficult to avoid. Same thing with the blunder, right? If he switches to his blunder and you're getting close, he will one-shot you.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful about that. I thought the hotfix would fix that, but it hasn't. And I'm like, oh man. I mean, it makes the battle a lot harder, but it's also kind of unfair because I can't hip shot with perfect accuracy.
Yeah.
Oh, but try it once. Try it, and then once he has his weapon out, if you're within range, say of the blunder, he keeps his blunder out, but he'll do the rest of his animations. He'll reload it and he'll aim and then he'll fire. So you have time to avoid, dodge behind a rock or something like that. But that first initial pull, he'll one shot you every time. And just hip shot.
All right. Well, cool. Well, thanks for that. I'll pay attention next time I fight him. So let's go to the event tab, which is the other main addition they added this update. Basically, it's a new tab that's next to your quest tab, and it shows daily, regular, and event challenges. You can check your progress there and your time remaining to complete certain goals. You can also check out the rewards you can earn and what you need to do for them. This month we have rewards like the lantern and the weapons and the crew outfit if you are a pilot legend and manage to complete everything. So I've read in the patch notes too, I didn't say that in my review, but in the patch notes they said that all those rewards will be available for pilot legends in the hideout, the legendary hideout, once this update is done. I didn't put it in my review because I can't really show it, so I can only tell it what the patch note says, and I don't want to make mistakes in my review, so that's why I didn't include it, because I only know if that's for sure going to happen, when the month is done, obviously. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the event tab?
I was actually really happy to see that finally in. I feel like we've been working towards that kind of interface for a while. We've been asking for it because of the daily events and because of all of the special stuff. It was really hard. You're bouncing back between websites. You don't know where you're at. You got to log in. You got to check your progress. It's nice that it's finally all integrated into the game as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree. It's nice. I am worried, and I was again. I wanted to discuss this in my review, but I thought, nah, it's going to sound like a rant and it's going to be too long, so I'm not going to do that. I'll save for the podcast. Because I did say I was disappointed with the event challenges we need to do because they're a complete rehash of certain accommodations, and they suck. They really do suck. Like some are quite nice, like the beacons. Like I really don't like doing that for the third time now. But I can guess for new players who have no idea what beacons are. And don't want to sift through all those bills recommendations, which I totally understand because there are quite a lot right now. They will be introduced to the beacons and like, oh hey, you can light beacons. It's pretty sweet, and we'll get shit ton of doubloons for it too if we do it. But for me, I really don't like it, and that's not. You can't say that's part of the content because it's not. It's not new content. It's just a rehash of things we've done before. And lighting the beacons might not sound that terrible, but it is wasted time. And there's one beacon at the top of crooked masts, which well, you know what I'm talking about. It's just time waster. You're just there. You're just 15 minutes. You're shooting yourself up in the cannon, which is really funny the first time around, but it's so irritating when you need to do it a second time. And this is not even the second time. This is the third or fourth time we've needed to do this because when they introduced the Legend of the Sea update, now we have books all scattered all over the world, but instead of making new original locations, we'll put them next to that one beacon. You can shoot it up again. And this time too, you can shoot it again. And you know what? We also need to read the journal, and I forgot to read the journal, so I actually need to get back to for a fourth time. I felt so dumb. My crewmate was laughing, but it's so I can't be the only one who forgot to also read the journal after he lit the beacon. So that's a bit. So you expand the time spent with this update. Well done, Rare. But the way you do it, it's not fun. It's not fun for us, all the players. It's really tedious, frustrating, or waste of time because I'd rather be doing something else. I'd rather be doing a gold or a voyage or just hunting for ships than shooting me to the top of crooked masts.
Yep.
But the worrying thing about this, sorry, I'll let you talk after this. But the worrying thing about this is what's going to happen with the next update? Like the Christmas update, are they going to reintroduce the stupid gifts again we needed to do, right? Or are they going to bring those accommodations back? Is that going to be in the event tab? Do we need to light all the beacons red and green because it's Christmas, right? So probably not, but I am fearful that they are going to consider that as content, and they did state that they do have a lot of plans for the event tab. So not the daily and the regular events, but the event challenges. And I really hope it's not going to be a rehash of dumb commendations we've already done. And I say dumb commendation because the first time around, it's fun. I had a blast doing that, especially those Skeleton Thrones and the beacons were, well, they were fun enough. They were fun enough, but not
the first time they're fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So this is my little rant.
Just get ready for the next update, which will probably be mermaid gems.
Yeah, well, yeah. Some of my
go get 50 mermaid gems. Oh.
Yeah, but it could happen. So I'm really fearful for that. I do like the fact that you can earn those rewards. So it is a nice incentive, and I do want to get those rewards. Most of them look pretty cool, especially the crew outfit. Plus, I've completed everything else in this game, so obviously I'm going to complete all this too. But it does leave a bad taste in my mouth, and like I said, I'm a bit fearful about future content updates because if they're like, oh, we do some voyages and then we pump the event up full with new challenges, like, hey, look at that, we're done. We can go home now. We can grab a beer and talk to the missus. Like I don't want to be negative, but I'm just, like I said, I'm a bit fearful for this game.
That's not even an excuse anymore. Everybody works at home. They can have beer all the time.
But anyways, what do you feel about this? About the particular challenges you need to do?
I feel the same way you do.
Mm.
I don't particularly like these challenges. Yes, they're fun the first time through, but when you keep rehashing them over and over and then pawning them off as content and pawning them off as an update, it like I said, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth too. That's why I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you're a new player, it gives you the ability to go in and kind of explore and close out some of those accommodations that you may not normally get. I mean, you can close out multiple accommodations, right? You can get your build rat stuff and you can get the event stuff. You just do them both at the same time. So there's some benefit there, but yeah, I mean, it's not a good retention policy for people who have played the game for more than 4 months.
Yeah.
Like, that does not encourage people to keep playing. I mean, once you've kind of ground through most of the levels, I mean, we all have accommodations that are still, I mean, you might not, but I still have accommodations, but my
Shout
stuff
goes
is
5 times. That's the one I need.
Oh God, I haven't even got that once still. But like, just other stuff like, doing the mileage on some of your voyages, right? Getting 1,000, was 1,000, I forget, not meters. Is it miles? Not miles.
Sea miles.
Whatever it is. Sea miles, yeah. But yeah, like things like that. I mean, I could log in and play, but I don't feel like just sailing my boat around doing nothing. I want some purpose.
Yeah.
And so like rehashing a lot of this stuff doesn't give me the encouragement to come in. And I feel like and you and I talked about this earlier, there's a lot of senior people who played this game for years who are all in the same boat you and I are. And we're like, ugh. Like, come on. Like, I'm finding other things to occupy my time with, which, I mean, to be fair, that's to be expected. But, I don't think any of us want to stop playing. We just don't feel like there's a need to play anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good point you made. And indeed, like, some of my regular crew have been voicing the same complaints as well. Which is still, like, to be fair, like, this game can keep our attention for so long before it finally started dwindling, which is still a testament to how fun the game is. Don't get me wrong.
I agree. Yeah,
and obviously, like I try to look at the bigger picture because it is a small update and it's not really that fun to be doing all the rehash stuff again. But hey, maybe next month is going to be super great and it's going to be super awesome. So I do try to look at that perspective. But on the other hand, I also felt that last update was a small update, which is fine. A small update is fine if you also have big updates. And it's been a while since we had a big update. Like me personally, I was also a little bit disappointed with the Ashen Winds update, with the Skeleton Lords. The Ashen Lords feeling similar to Skeleton Lords, even though they're original enough. But let's not get into that discussion. But the last truly great update they delivered was the Haunted Shores update for me. So that's been a while now. So I really want a really good, like a big new NPC or something like that. So just to keep things fresh again. But anyways, we can talk hours and hours about stuff we want, which is not the topic of today. The topic of today is to rant about this update. No. I try not to rant all that much. Just about the event for now. So let's go to the next subject, which is the Emporium. Some stuff have been added there, mainly the Soul Flame ship, which looks pretty slick. We have some new emotes too. We have face paint. We have the pets, the skeleton pets have been re-added, so you can get your parrot and your monkey again. But they also added dogs and cats, the skeleton version. All of these are time limited, so if you want them, this is the month to buy them. And we also have the free emote this month, which is the Lantern Dance. So, anything that sticks out in Emporium for you?
The Soul Flame ship is actually really cool. I saw that firsthand yesterday.
Oh, sweet!
I had a brig chase me down and try to sink me, and they had it, and I was like, "That's a pretty sweet looking ship." I gotta say, it is. Yeah, it is really nicely done. It's got good ripped sails, like an adequate amount of glow. The hull is really nice.
Yeah.
It looks better when I sunk them too.
I can imagine.
But
some rust on it.
Yeah, there's a little rust on it there. But no, that was really nice. It's a nice ship for sure. And if you're into buying premium content stuff for your
if you like spending vast quantities of money.
Well, I'm not saying they're cheap. They're not cheap, right? They are expensive, but if you have a limited amount of things to buy and you're like, I really want to buy a premium ship, that's a really good ship.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie. It is a really nice ship. They did an excellent job on that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It does look amazing. I especially like it because it really invokes the Festival of the Damned feel and also the Fort of the Damned feel. It does feel like they stripped away the metal of the beacons, of the flames, and also bits of wood from the Fort of the Damned to make the ship. It feels like that. So on that regard, they've done an amazing part. Plus, you see all the green smoke coming from it, like the magical Sea of the Damned stuff. So yeah. My only complaint with this is it seems to me that Rare stopped putting out their heritage ships, which was my favorite part of the Emporium. I really like the references to those past games. I made two big videos on the one on the Conquer ship, the Royal Sea Scroll ship, and the other one on the Fighting Frogs ship, which is themed after Battletoads. So I want more of that. And they also have a Halloween franchise, like a spooky brawler called Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Very underrated game. Like, when it came out, I didn't look at it too. I only played it, I think, this year. I think this year was the first time I played Grabbed by the Ghoulies, which is really a hidden gem of the Rare archive. So definitely check that out if you're interested in that. But the reason I mentioned this is because they could have made a Grabbed by the Ghoulies heritage ship for Halloween, and they didn't. So I think they're done with the heritage ships, and that saddens me a little bit.
Well, you never know. They could do more later.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. I mean, to be honest, though, I mean that Soulflame ship is pretty appropriate for the update and Halloween. I mean, it's really good. Who knows? Maybe they'll do one next month or another
next
time.
year.
Maybe
next year's ship. When we're recompleting accommodations of this event again. Recompleting the recompleted accommodations. Oh well, let's hope not. Anything else that sticks out for the Emporium, like the emotes, the face paint? The
dancing or the skeleton emotes are pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me of like Evil Dead, if you've ever watched that movie.
Oh,
with Ash, where he's fighting against his hand. I was like, I think they're inspired by that. So I was like, that's pretty cool. The Free Lantern one is a bit weird because he's doing this weird arm thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, it's kind of odd. I mean, I got it. It's free. I probably won't use it because I was like, I mean, he should have just danced with the lantern or something. It was just his arm movement is weird. Anyways, it's free, right? So that's cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ray. We got free stuff. Everybody likes free stuff.
That's true.
And the skeleton pets are cool. I like them. I've already got the monkey and the bird, so I didn't get the cat and the dog. But I always like the skeleton pets. They're fun to pull out sometimes because new players are like, where did you get that from?
Yep.
So,
I know that.
Yeah, that's always pretty fun. And the face paint stuff I kind of looked into. I have face paint from, I think it was last year's update. Mm-hmm. That's very similar. So I didn't buy any new face paints.
Yeah, how do you feel about them adding face paint to the Emporium? Because this is the first time they've done that.
That's fine. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I don't mind. If people want to go and pay to upgrade their character, or not upgrade, but, improve the visual of their character, by all means, go for it, yeah.
And you think the price is decent too? Like 150 Asian coins for 4?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
Yeah. It's what, $1.50
mm-hmm.
for 4 different face paints. You look at your character's face a lot, so, well, I mean, other players look at your character's face a lot. But, I mean, if tailoring your character is really important to you, which this is a big part of Sea of Thieves. I mean, they
mm-hmm.
really push hard on make a unique character. That's a pretty reasonable purchase.
Yeah, indeed. And if you're lucky enough to find just one ancient skeleton, then you're like, oh yeah, can buy face paint. That's why not? I'll do that.
Yeah, totally. It's free, pretty much. Well, depending on which one you get, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right, cool. So let's go from the Emporium to the other editions, which are basically some other quality of life stuff. We're not going to discuss them all, but just the ones that stick out a little bit. The one that most players will be pleased by is the alterations to the Ashen Lord event. They now have reduced health, so they die a little bit quicker. So that's really nice. You will also get a bigger reward. First of all, everything is worth a little bit more. The Ashen Skull is doubled in value, and they also added, and this is the one I'm pleased by the most, a Chest of Rage and a Ritual Skull when you do defeat him. So those are a bit rare in the seas nowadays, but hey, if you want a Chest of Rage and a Ritual Skull, just defeat National Lord, and there you go. So I'm really pleased with all these additions. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, same. I mean, last podcast we had where we talked about the Ashen Lords, that was one of the biggest problems, is like, this event takes a really long time to do. Mm-hmm. It leaves you very vulnerable to being attacked. And if you get attacked, you're pretty much done because of the distance that you need to park your ship away. Mm-hmm. And then the reward for it was measly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm glad to see that they finally upped the stuff. And it's nice to see the return of the Chest of Rage, because I haven't seen a single one of those since the event.
Yep, same.
When you could actually... yeah, I know they said they were in there. They're like, yep. Chests of Rages are in the world, like the Grog chest or like the Curse chest, the Crying chest. Mm-hmm. I never, ever found one.
Nope.
So
yeah, and still, I don't know for sure if I still haven't done National Lord with this event, so hey, still might be only in the patch notes, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt, and let's assume they're in the game right now. Which is great, especially for the people who still need accommodations around that.
Yeah.
And a sign that they listen to the community, right? So
better monthly updates.
That's the takeaway of this podcast. They also added finally the mysterious notes, originally planned for last update. It wasn't the patch notes last update, but it wasn't in the game. And now it is in the game. So far, I don't know about you, but so far I've only gotten the one when you wake up and it's like, oh, hey, Lorena has some stuff for you. That's the only one I've gotten. But if I get it right, it actually should point to other locations and events as well, as the updates go by and you progress through the game. So have you seen other notes, or was it the same experience for you?
Same for me, yeah. The very first time I got a note on the table that was like, go talk to Lorena. The previous times waking up after that, there was no note on the table. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if once you've completed, if the note goes away, or maybe I just got unlucky, but I knew what I needed to do to go get the mission from her and then go find Duke. So, but it was cool. I like that. I think it's cool that you can wake up. You're done with your grog-filled dreams. You stammer back to your feet, and you're like, "Let's go sailing." I thought that was pretty cool for sure.
It was, and that's how I felt about it too. Just adds a little bit of flavor to the game. You wake up, that's pretty nice. But it does slow the game down, because when you're done with your loading screen, that animation starts, and normally you will start with control of your character, so you need to wait an extra few seconds, which will get annoying after a while if you play a lot.
You can turn it off.
Oh, well, there you go.
There's an option to turn it off, yeah.
All right. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, then it's a great addition.
It's so much better now. Yeah. I keep it on because I just think it's cool, but yeah, there was somewhere else in one of the notes they were saying that there's an option to turn off the intro animation. So, and apparently there's also a load screen going into the Pirate Legend hideout, which I have yet to see. I haven't gone down there.
All right. Well, thanks for reminding me. I do need to check that out. I'm sure I'm going to do that. I would like to see this animation every time there's a new mysterious note, so you can see it pinned on the table. And then when there's no note, there's also no animation. That would, for me, would be the perfect solution.
Yeah, just show it to you when you need it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it reminds you, and adds some flavor too. And if it's not there, well, you can just play the game straight away. Oh well.
Exactly.
So the final thing we have to discuss is what I want to discuss is the finalization of the Shark Hunter set. This is a set that was introduced way back in the very first update, The Hungering Deep. But back then there weren't, cosmetics for the cannons or the wheel or the capstan, and now they are. And now they have finally completed that Shark Hunter set, and it looks amazing. Have you played with it? Have you bought it?
I have not actually, but I probably will because I have the rest of the set, and it's like you. It's like I don't want to have a half complete set, so I'll probably go pick it up. Yeah.
No, it looks pretty cool. If for people who want to know what the cannons look like, I show the cannons. I think I show the wheel too, but definitely the cannons I show in my update review. So if you want to have a look at that, or just buy it, just play the game and buy it. That's maybe better. I just want people to watch my update review. So that's about it. So in conclusion, how do you feel about this update?
I like the quality of life improvements. Oh, one thing we didn't talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Which will come. I guess we could do this in a later one. But how you can get team Pirate Legend outfits for your entire crew.
Oh yeah, we didn't discuss it at all.
That
let's
seems
do that now.
awesome. Yeah. That seems really cool because again, it's mostly for newer players, and also you could possibly troll your team. I don't know if they have to equip it. They probably have to equip it. Anyways, it's not out yet. But the fact that you can actually offer outfits to the crew that you're sailing with based on your achievements is pretty cool.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
I think it's great because I've done it in the past too, where we were like, all right, let's do a Royal Sovereign ship, and we dress our ship up like really matching. Because if you sail with me, you know how I am with that kind of stuff. And then we would dress up as sovereign pirates too, right? So with gold and the sovereign outfits you could buy, and everybody was mix and matching, but we were all same all part of the same crew. The downside of that is that it takes really long to do because everybody needs to dress up, and then next day you want to play as something different. This time, if you want to be like a spooky crew for Halloween, you just go to your chest and equip the outfit, and that's it.
Yep.
Which is
and
great.
You don't even have to have all of the achievements. Someone else can do it for you.
Yep. Yeah. That's amazing. And again, that's also Pirate Legends helping the other crews, because in the beginning you want to sail with a Pirate Legend because he had those voyages. Now you still want to play with a Pirate Legend because he has the outfits and he can share it with the rest of the crew, which I like that addition. It's nice. You're totally right.
Yeah. So I think that is really good. I like the fact that they've finally tied the events tab in, so that we actually have a better way to track the things that we're doing, see what's happening, and don't have to bounce all over the internet. And the Emporium stuff's pretty good. Like I said, the ship set's really good. It was just the main content that I was like, ugh.
Yeah, because when this update is done, like what is there still in the game left over from this update? Like nothing. Like when the FOTD was done, the FOTD is still in the game. When even the original Festival of the Damned was done, the flames, all the cores, Flames of Fate, were still in the game. The beacons were still in the game. What's still in the game after this update? Like nothing.
A
like
lantern?
Yeah, well, cosmetics obviously, but oh yeah, no, you mean the land? Well, no, that's not true because I've played the Voyage several times and it's always a different island, and even if it's the same island, the lantern is in a different location. So I did want the lanterns to stay in the game. So you say you needed a white flame, then I can always go to Pickering Palms, right, to pick up the white flame. But I don't think it's going to be that way, which is just a shame. So yeah. And I think one of the reasons, because we're not the only ones who are a bit disappointed with this update. I've seen it in my comments too. Also, a lot of people who really love this update, and hey, more power to you guys. Like, if you're having fun, that's great. That's super great. But where was I going with this?
What's going to stay in the game?
There's nothing going to stay in the game this time. So
just the equipment.
Yeah.
That you can earn. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the title. There's a title you can get if you kill 400 skeletons.
Oh yeah, Slayer of Fate or something like that. Yeah. So we have that too.
Yeah, I tried to farm the Fate of Shadows skeletons. Shadows of Fate skeletons. The Shadow skeletons. Because I was thinking, you know how Grey Marrow spawns them? I was like, well, what if I just kind of train Grey Marrow around a lot and just have him constantly spew these guys out so I can kill him, get my 400 relatively quickly, but it doesn't work.
Oh.
I think he only spawns them at various intervals. So the only way that I could sort of get him to continually spawn them out was by dying and then coming back, and then it seemed like he would spawn more. So I could get 12 or 13 coming after me at a time. But that just takes too long, because then you got to die, and then you got to go back to the spawn point, and
it just doesn't seem fun too. But I'm just planning to do the FOTD in the final week a bunch of times.
Yeah,
just get it that way.
Yeah, if you have a crew, that would be fine. You could totally do that.
Thank God I do still have a crew.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you looked at the last commendations too, because there are commendations. Well, I say commendation, but they're actually events. Like, we can't tell the difference. Rare. But you need to do the FOTD again. And there's also a goal to do the FOTD while being in an alliance too.
Okay.
And if you know me, you know I don't like those goals and commendations.
You only have to do it once, right?
Yeah, well, I think I've already done something like that in the past, and I just don't like working together. I sound like a bad pirate, but I don't know. Like, I don't really like working together with other crews. If it comes up naturally, obviously, and it can be really fun, but I don't like the game to tell me to work together if I don't feel like it. But if you want a crew outfit, you need to do it in that week. So, oh well. Again, I'm going to repeat my same rant, and I'm not going to do that. The one thing I do want to mention as well is, nothing stays in the game this time. It would have been way better if they would have introduced a new creature or a new threat from the Sea of the Damned. Like, still make it. It's fine if you build in the same assets, right? So if you could have a new NPC or a new monster that you would have to summon with all the beacons, like, I don't know, make all the beacons the same color, or three beacons the same color in one region, it will spawn the beast. And then that would have been fine, because that way you're still using the assets, but also adding something new that's going to stay. But, well. Also, the branding of this update, because it was branded as something that was entirely new, they hyped it up during that Twitter. And I'm not a big social media person, but other people told me this. They were hyping it up. But if they would have branded this as a quality of life update, like we do the events tab, and we add these new pictures to the cosmetics shop, which I haven't talked about, but they did that and it looks amazing. And all the other quality of life with the Ashen Lords. And if they said, all right, but it's also Halloween, so we're also going to add some voyages and some goals you can do to earn some rewards. But it's mainly a quality of life update instead of a content update. And if we would have branded like that, I think a lot of people, including myself, would have been way more forgiving towards them.
Yep.
But yeah, I still would be mad about recompleting the accommodations. Still be mad about spending 30 minutes of my time trying to get on Crooked Mast.
Yep. I know. Twice.
But yeah, twice. Thank you for reminding. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on this update. I the only thing I can say is, if you're happy with this, I'm happy for you. Me personally, I want a bit more meat to my updates, and I do hope the next one is gonna deliver the goods.
Yep, me too.
And hey, if you listen to this podcast and you want to share your thoughts, I'm really interested how my subscribers feel about that. So please leave a comment. And with that, we've also come to the end of the podcast. So if you like these discussions with other YouTubers, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps out this podcast, so please do. And I would like to thank Old Buccaneer for, again, being wonderful. And can you tell our listeners where they can find you?
Sure. You guys can find me on YouTube under Old Buccaneer.
Yep. So what is going to happen to your channel right now? Like you said hiatus, but can you give us a bit more information about the future?
Well, making content has been difficult because, I generally make guides. Mm-hmm. And short of going back into like beginner guides, which there's a lot of those out there, there's no content for me to make. Mm. I could make a video about this update, but I don't feel like it's going to really benefit a lot of people. So that's why I'm like, I need some new content from Rare to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, you need to be inspired too, right, to make that content.
Exactly. Like the Ashen Lords was close, but I was like, I don't know. But maybe now that their buffs and stuff or their rewards have been increased, people will do them more. Mm-hmm. But those just dropped off. The first week it was people just stopped doing them, other than achievement hunters, obviously. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, it just the player base. I need more senior people in the player base so that when I get into a fight, I don't feel like I'm fighting against scrubs. Mm-hmm. Like I said, yesterday was a good example. I got a close-up view of that nice new ship, and it was 3v1, and I just whipped those guys. And I'm like, this is not fun.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to have some more senior crews come back, and I think they're not going to get that until they get better content. And the content's been pretty lackluster, so it's not encouraging veteran players to really get involved with the game. So
yeah.
It's mostly just scrubby new people who are, grinding out gold hoarders with Reaper level 1 up.
Do you think this is an interesting topic, by the way, because do you think this is also the reason why the updates are a bit lackluster for us, because they are catering to the new players and not to the older Sea Dogs?
I considered that. That might be part of it, for sure. They might be putting their efforts towards the new game. I forget what it's called.
Everwild.
Everwild.
Yeah, but
who knows?
But the thing about Everwild is there's only one person in Rare that works on both projects, and that's the composer. He works on Sea of Thieves and he works on Everwild. All the rest of those teams, they're separate teams. Like Rare has 4 separate teams, so there's no overlap. Like of course they eat together in the lunchroom, but that's about it. Like they don't work together. So we shouldn't be worried about that at all. Obviously, there's this pandemic we're in, obviously, but it's a strain on development for sure. But you shouldn't be afraid that they have less people to work on it, because that's just simply not the case.
Okay.
So we extended our podcast a little bit, and actually we're wrapping up, but no, that's fine. It's fine. It's interesting topics. So and don't forget to still subscribe to Old Buccaneer, because even though he is doing a little hiatus, there's still a bunch of good content on his channel. So go check him out. Go subscribe.
Yeah, and I still answer questions.
And there you go. Yeah. And also subscribe to Captain Blubber, because he's amazing as well.
Absolutely.
So with this podcast is a wrap. I'm gonna enjoy editing this one. Should be fairly easy. Like, you're way easier to edit than Uniball. But yeah, thanks for being on this podcast, and thanks to everybody listening. Have a good one and take care.
All right, bye everybody. Thank you.